But I'll tell you what I was doing, and this is one of the benefits of my job, is that from time to time, my work is to sit around and watch videos. And sometimes I've got them casually playing in the background. Sometimes I'm sitting there and I'm actually just watching them intently. And I got myself down a Yuri Bezmenov rabbit hole. It's a good one to be in. To watch his lectures and presentations, his interviews with G. Edward Griffin, by the way, someone that I met at Acapulco, got on a plane with him and then saw him speak and do his presentation. You know, he was having these conversations with Yuri back in the late 70s and early 80s. And you hear this talk about demoralization, and you hear about this process of how you can take over a country and subvert them without firing a single shot. And it sounds all theoretical, right? And it sounds like something that you would read in some sort of KGB handbook, which of course it is in the KGB handbook, or something that you'd learn at Quantico, or some place where if you're working in an intelligence capacity, you would learn something about the process of demoralization. But it's all very theoretical, right? It's just, if you do this, then this would happen. And it takes 40 years. So it's like when you're having this lecture, when you're Yuri and you're talking to Ed in the 70s, and you're saying, this is what it'll look like 40 years from now, you can sort of take that for what you will. But we're past 40 years. We're already past the point where he said that this is where you'll be. And now when you go back and you watch these interviews and you watch these presentations, it's not theoretical anymore. It's factual. And I want to talk about this because the plan of demoralization of the West is not just in full swing. It's already done. It's completed. We're just sorting through the last stages of it. And what I want to do is I'm going to go through the 4 stages of ideological subversion, otherwise known as active measures, otherwise known as psychological warfare, and take this from a point of conceptually looking at the idea of subversion and saying, all right, now you hear what Yuri's talking about back then. Let's draw some parallels and connections to where we are right now. Let's see if it matches up. Let's see if what he was talking about, the process, the time frame, 15 to 20 years for this process, for this part, and 2 to 5 years for this part. And, he's very specific because he knew the playbook. He was a former KGB agent, and he got a little bit disillusioned with what they were doing, and in particular with regard to what they were doing in India. He was based in India. He had a deep relationship there. He was a linguistics expert in Indian languages, and really smart guy. I don't. Some people say, well, he's a KGB guy. How much are you going to trust him? Look, who would know the playbook better than the KGB? So who knows the inner workings of a criminal organization? Criminals, right? Who knows the inner workings of a spy agency? Spies. So when you talk to guys like this, or you hear them do presentations or do interviews, and you say, oh, well, I can never believe anything that he said he would, because he worked for the KGB. Yeah, that's why he knows what he knows. So you can add whatever sort of discounts you want to this, but the facts are what he said about how it's going to go down and how it's going to look and how this whole thing plays out, really accurate. And so we're going to go through this and we're going to talk about it kind of step by step. And I got a lot of notes on this one, and it's fun. And I would encourage you to go back and go on wherever video platform you like and just type in Yuri Bezmenov and watch some of them. Watch the you'll know you're in the right place because everybody in the audience looks like they're straight out of like an early 80s McDonald's commercial or something, or when Ed's interviewing him, they look like they're on their way to Studio 54 after the interview, so you can tell it was a while ago. The footage is a little grainy, the audio quality is okay but not the best, but it doesn't matter. The message is where it's at. So let's talk about this. This is the plan The plan is to destabilize all of the relations, all the accepted institutions and organizations in a country of your enemy. So this is a very thoughtful, planned well in advance, an understanding of psychology, an understanding of group dynamics, knowing how the media will respond, knowing how the government will respond, thinking that you know how the people will respond. It's always a little bit of a crapshoot, but if you understand human psychology and herd mentality and things like that, you can pretty much predict how the masses are going to move. Thanks for watching that clip. If you want to hear the entire episode in audio format, just go wherever podcasts are served, search for Macroaggressions, subscribe to the show, and please rate it when you get a chance. Thanks, everybody.